Well, I see we're on the camera already. Look at that. Welcome, everyone, to Making It Great. I'm Dr. West, the superintendent of Winona Area Public Schools. And it feels like I've been away for a while, but I guess I haven't. I have these, on our first segment, I have these two amazing kids here. How are you guys doing? You guys okay?
Yeah.
Nathan, before we started, you were a little nervous, so how you
Definitely.
feeling? You're looking at me. We're okay, right?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, don't worry about them. I'll deal with them. You and I, you and me right here. How are you, Hallee?
I'm good.
It's Hallee.
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 Yeah, it's
Yep.
Hallee.
E-E. Yep.
Hallee. And it's Hoeppner.
Yep. Hoeppner.
And you're Nathan No, I'm not going to say it. Go ahead.
Muschamp.
Without the P.
No P.
No P. All right.
Silent P.
So we have these folks here for our first segment, and I have to tell you, it's exciting. I get a chance, my first 2 years here in Winona Area Public Schools, I got a chance to see the AAA award when I was just blown away by what it takes to be a AAA. So I wanted to start first before we even get to the AAA, what grade are you in? Let's talk about that. You have family, that kind of stuff. So let's go ladies first. Tell me a little bit about you, because everybody knows you're in sports, so let's leave that alone. Let's talk about who you are.
I am a senior at Winona Senior High School.
Okay.
I have one sister who is a junior, and then my two parents. My dad works at the high school.
Yes, he
with
does.
security,
Yeah, okay.
and my mom works at home. She's a graphic designer.
Is she? I might have to talk to her about that. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, Nathan.
I'm also a senior, and I have two brothers and a mom and dad, and they own an asphalt contracting company.
Okay.
And so they're self-employed, and
Excellent.
they've done that ever since the year I was born.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. That sounds like hard work. No, I'm not happy.
They get a nice winter break.
Do
though. Yeah.
Okay, well, that might be all right then. All right, so let's talk about it. I got a chance to stand there in the crowd and watch both of you. We had 10 folks who were finalists, and you two are my male and female AAA. So let's start about that. What is AAA? Why do we have you on the show talking about AAA?
I think AAA is like an award for students who excel in academics, athletics, and arts. That's kind of where you get the three A's.
That's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
AAA, yeah. Okay.
Pretty easy to remember,
Yeah.
but I think it kind of highlights those students who kind of go above and beyond in those three areas, not just in one.
Excellent. So you're skilled in athletics, you're skilled in academics, and you're skilled in the arts. So in the arts, what do you do? Music, I assume?
Yep, I'm in band. I
Okay.
do symphonic band during the school year, and then marching band during the summer.
Same thing, band, jazz band, orchestra, symphonic band, concert band, even pep band every now and then.
Sports-wise, I assume you all do all the different sports, all the seasons, I assume, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're, what, volleyball?
Yep,
and
volleyball, basketball, track and field in the
Oh,
spring.
you're track and field? Okay.
Cross-country running, cross-country skiing, and then trap shooting in the spring.
Oh, you're a trap shooter.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's go away right now. How's that going? We did that.
I'm not super good at it, but it's a lot of fun.
Don't be telling people that, man. You got a weapon in your head, man.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
Exactly. So trap shooting, huh?
Yeah.
I want to get out there and watch you guys do your thing.
It's right up Gilmore Drive at the top of the,
Yes,
and you
sir.
take a right up there, and there's like 5 different trap houses,
Yeah.
and then everybody goes and shoots, and then it's over pretty quick too.
Yeah. Now, guys and girls doing it.
Yeah.
Too, right? Yeah. I saw some young ladies walking around with some guns. And it makes me nervous. Not just with the girls, but the guys too.
Yeah,
But it seems to
definitely.
be going pretty well for you guys.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let's talk about the process for AAA. I mean, it's actually pretty comprehensive, I assume. And well, I know this, and teachers have to go through a lot. You got to go through a lot. So, Nathan, let's talk about the process.
Well, you start out by being nominated by a teacher or staff member at the Winona High School, and then you have to fill out an application, and then if you get selected as a finalist, you get to go to the final meeting in the gym with everybody else, and then they decide who the top 2 are going to be, and so it's pretty much up to the group of teachers that get to review your application.
So you don't know until you're sitting there with the rest of your friends.
Yeah,
Was it
I'm sure
nerve-wracking?
they probably know, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's
You guys pull it off so well, though. Like I said, I've been there like 2 years in a row, and you guys all sit there, and then they say, okay, and the winner is, and then the person stands up, and I always like to watch the other folks sitting there in the chair just to see what their reactions are.
Yeah.
I'm always so surprised. Like they're never like, you know, they never give me that. You know, I'm like, like at the Oscars, right? You're
Yeah.
like, and the winner is Best Picture, you know, Leonardo. Then you cut to somebody and they're like, you know, but you guys are pretty good. You keep your emotions in check, and I'm always impressed by that. All right, so what does it mean to you to be AAA?
I think it's a huge honor.
Yeah.
Just it highlights a few different areas instead of just focusing on one, and I think that's a big deal.
Right.
Just making it like an all-around award almost.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what you have to do to get there. So you're seniors, so you've been there, what, 4 years there? And have you planned this like forever to be a AAA? Is that something that you plan for, or you just kind of fall into it, or what?
Always with a little hesitation. I remember riding in the car with my friend Jake, and Emmett Hedin had won when I was a freshman, I believe. And
You remember that?
yeah, he was a Ridgeway graduate too. We all went to Ridgeway, and I
don't
believe
be
like
saying that, man. I don't wanna
three
hear that. What are you
three of the top 10 finalists were all Ridgeway grads. And
Am I supposed to be happy about that? Or?
I don't know.
Come
I
on,
mean,
Nathan. Why are you doing this on TV, man? No, just go on.
are you kidding? I
Go on,
have
Nathan.
nothing but good things to say about Ridgeway.
Yeah.
And so, but if you want me to stop, I can.
No. No, go on.
Okay. And so we were really proud of Emmett because we identified with him. He was one of us.
Yeah.
And we always just kind of dreamed about doing the AAA, but we never actually thought it would happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We were just two chumps in the minivan going to jazz band.
And look at that, huh? And how about yourself? Did you plan for it, or did you know this is something you wanted to look at?
Yeah, I think like freshman year, the same thing. Dulcie Millick won for the girls, and I played with her during all three sports.
Right.
So she was someone who I looked up to, and then the following 2 years, I knew I was close with the girls who won. So I always kind of had it in the back of my head, you know. It was something I wanted to go for, but I wanted to focus on just kind of challenging myself as best as I could, and then hoping that was enough.
Wow. So what are your suggestions for a ninth grader walking into the high school about AAA? I mean, what do they need to do?
I would just take each day as it is
Okay.
and do what you need to do for that day. And then also, it's really important that you make a good impression on your teachers because they ultimately decide who gets to go where. And so if you burn bridges or if the teachers don't like you at all, then it's not going to help you as far as that goes.
How about you?
I would say just challenge yourself and get involved in as much as you can. Like even if something only interests you a little bit,
Right.
give it a try because you're not gonna know if you don't like it or not if you don't try it.
Agreed. So, I mean, obviously, you guys, your schedules must just be crazy. I mean, sports,
Yeah.
athletics, or academics, and the arts. So, how do you balance that? I mean,
Just do one thing at a time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's
I had 3 tests this week,
yeah.
another one on Friday.
Are you
So-
studying on the when you're in the buses going up? Do you are you just studying there?
No,
or
not on the bus, but
Yeah.
maybe at home or
before.
yeah, in between classes.
Really?
Yeah.
How about you?
I've gotten used to doing homework on the bus.
Is that right?
On the way up there, I do homework, and then during most of the time we watch like the 9th grade and JV games before we play, and I'll have homework out while they're playing, so I can kind of do 2 things at once. Just I think it helps getting stuff done
Yeah.
on time, early if you can.
Right.
'Cause then
I hear
that
you're a
way-
perfectionist.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think I like having things
Done.
having them done right. And I think throughout high school I've kind of figured out like it's not always gonna go the way you plan the first time.
Honey, you're right.
Yeah.
It's true. You're absolutely right about you keep that
Yeah.
mindset. How about you? Are you a perfectionist?
Sometimes, but now I've kind of learned sometimes things aren't worth fighting. You got to choose your battles wisely.
Absolutely.
So if it's not perfect, that doesn't mean it's
Not
a
good.
throwaway.
That's right.
But still, sometimes you can find value in things that maybe aren't perfect.
You're absolutely right, Nathan. Absolutely right. So you're both seniors, and we could talk about all the things you've been involved in, but I want to know about the future. So what's the big plan here? We're getting down here pretty soon, right? The year's
Yeah.
flown by, and So you're going to be walking across the stage here, and what's the plan for you?
I am undecided about where I'm going to go next year.
Okay.
Because I am planning on playing basketball at the next level.
Whoa!
So I have not committed anywhere yet, but
Like D1 or?
probably either D2 or D3.
Okay.
I want to focus on school still because I'm
Absolutely.
planning on majoring in biology and then going pre-medicine. So
Is that right? You going to be a doctor? Or?
yeah, somewhere along those lines.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Well done, well done. So you haven't decided yet, huh?
No.
Nathan, what about you?
I'm going to be an engineer. I'm not quite certain on if it'll be a nuclear, a civil, or a chemical engineer.
Of course.
And I'm applied to 3 schools, and I'm just waiting to hear on scholarships that I applied for. The AAA certainly helps for those,
Yeah.
and just going to see which one offers me the best deal.
So can I ask which schools you're looking at, or is that
The
secret?
3 border states besides Wisconsin, so either the Dakotas or Iowa.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they're state schools.
All right. So what is obviously community, you're dealing with some of the elite here, but what has Winona Senior High School, the district, what has it done for you
I
in
think
preparation?
it's helped me mature into a leader, into
Okay.
someone who's confident going into new settings. I think that's been a big deal. I feel because of like my education and all the staff members, they've prepared me to be ready to take on the next level of school.
So you feel like you're ready? Mm-hmm. Excellent. How about you, Nate?
It's taught me to work hard, either academically or also physically. Recently, the parking lot was resurfaced, and I was part of the cleanup crew, so I swept that whole parking lot.
Is
by
that
hand.
right?
Yeah.
It was
had
you?
a blower.
Okay.
We had an air blower
Yeah.
to help blow some of the finer dust particles away, but all the manual sweeping was basically me, except for a little part around 4 in the afternoon. I stopped for a while, but yeah. So, and I don't think I've ever worked a day harder than that physically.
Is that right?
So Winona Senior High School taught me that I could do something like that.
Is that right? Well, I have to tell you, it's always emotional when I have kids on the show because it's hard for me to see kids. I've been a principal, and so I had a chance to be with kids. But when you're the superintendent, you're kind of removed from that. You kind of don't micromanage principals, and you kind of watch from afar. We have some of the finest kids around. Nothing's ever perfect in life, but it's so amazing to have you two sitting here, being AAA award winner, but really being classy kids. And I can only thank you again for the work that you have done, how you lead. I think that's more important to me than any award is how kids lead, because we know kids out there that follow. And so to be a leader, to say, hey, this is the way to do it, I can only thank you from the bottom of my heart and being the tremendous leaders for the high school. And we're going to be sending you two off into the world here in a little bit. Pretty soon. And you guys are going to do great things. We'll keep our eye on both of you and watch you do amazing things. So I want to thank you both for being here.
All right.
That ends the first segment of Making It Great. We'll be back in a moment for the second segment. Stay tuned.
Get an inside look at the Winona State basketball program with Warriors Fast Break on TV 25, brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill. Host Justin Barrientos sits down with the Warriors head coaches each week to break down last week's game and to look ahead at WSU's next opponent, as well as chat with Winona State players. Tune in at 4:30 p.m. on Thursdays, 6 p.m. on Fridays, 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and before every Warrior home game for Warriors Fast Break on HBC, brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill.
Hi, I'm Dan Picarino with HBC. Our goal has always been to offer the very best TV experience and value possible. Customers often ask, why do we have to pay for a bunch of channels we don't even watch? It's kind of like this. Imagine going into a convenience store and wanting to buy a bag of chips. But to get those chips, you're required to also purchase a candy bar, a slice of pizza, a sandwich, and a pack of gum. That's how one channel you want becomes 4, 5, or even more channels in your lineup. Today, there are 6 multi-billion-dollar corporations that control 90% of the existing networks and programming. We feel strongly that these corporations should not be allowed to double or triple their rates from year to year. There are times that HBC must challenge these media companies to keep their rates reasonable. We hope you will join us in this fight. Please visit tvonmyside.com/HBC to learn more. And thank you for choosing HBC.
Want the latest news on St. Mary's University athletics? Watch the Cardinals Nest on HBC TV 25. Dean Beckman and SMU Sports Information Director Donnie Netto will talk about the past week in Cardinal athletics, highlighting the best in each Cardinal sports team. Player and coach guests will add their stories and insight each week with new shows Thursdays at 5 p.m. and replays Fridays at 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 7:30 a.m. on HBC TV 25.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Stephen West, Superintendent of Winona Area Public School. Welcome back to Making It Great. Second segment, ladies. I have two amazing ladies here, directors in our school district, and we're here to talk about some things that are exciting that's going on in our school district. So to my left, immediate left, is Kelly Halvorsen, and she's the Director of Learning and Teaching. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Dr. West.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, always nervous to be in front of camera.
I hear you. Trust me, I get you. And to my far left is Margaret Schild, my Director of Community Education. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Yeah,
No.
you don't seem very nervous.
I'm not.
If the people could have heard your outtakes earlier, they better not have been recording this. So we're here today because we do have some things going on. Besides the facilities conversations and just a lot of things going on in our school district, we do have something going on with a strategic plan. So let's talk a little bit about the Community Summit. We'll start with you, Margaret. I tasked you with kind of leading the Community Summit. Want to talk a little bit about what it is?
Absolutely. It's really an opportunity for the district to select input from the community. We actually, the three of us started talking about this, in fall. I think we started talking about it. And you guys brought forward the World Cafe format, which I hadn't been involved with before. And we identified kind of key communicator groups that we wanted to have involved, and really looking to have the input that we received from the World Cafes provide the framework as we move on to strategic planning for the district.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit, Kelly, about kind of the format, a little bit about the World Cafes, because it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past with strategic planning. Want to talk a little bit about who's involved, who's going to be involved, that type of thing?
Sure. We have 9 summits planned for our community and for our parents and for our students. And we have 5 questions selected in which they'll come to the group and start with one group, and then the purpose of the World Cafe is to get varying perspectives. So they're going to rotate to different groups with each question. Within those groups, we'll have some administration that'll be there to help facilitate and to keep notes and to make sure that everything's recorded. So, but again, the purpose is to make sure that they're not with the same group, not having the same conversation, hearing multiple perspectives, and global World Cafe type conversations are happening.
That's exciting. I'm really excited about it.
Well, thanks for bringing it to us.
Oh, no.
Right. I mean, well,
I know I did bring it, but I'm excited. It's exciting.
but you brought it for us. I mean, I have been involved mainly in the more traditional focus groups where we have a group and they basically sit with the same group throughout the questions. With this, it really is the mix all the way through. So, and I think the kind of populations that we've targeted will give us a really broad base view of how people are feeling. You know, we're going to have students involved.
I was going to ask you, can you talk a little bit about the different groups, specifics?
Yep, we're going to have.
Because community, you might be getting calls, so I'm
That's
just
right.
letting you, so get ready for that.
Yeah, we're looking certainly to have staff. Winona Area Public Schools school staff will be involved. Business and industry, we're looking at a group for that. We have student groups scheduled both at the high school and the middle school. We have a focus on health and human services and youth organizations that will.
Thank you for putting it up. It's going.
It
I'm
is.
just looking
Yeah,
at
perfect.
it there. Okay.
Yes. Community members, and included with community members will be parents involved in that, and then elected officials. So I think we worked really hard to be sure that we get that broad
cross-section of
perspective.
folks.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
So Kelly, you talked a little bit about some questions. Do you have some specific questions that we're going to be asking?
We do. We worked through many questions actually and had a lot of internal conversations. But the 5 questions that we've selected: what do you believe to be the strengths? I think it's important to recognize what we are doing good and are doing well. What would you like to see changed or improved? There's always room to do things better. So
Really?
I think absolutely. I think to hear these varying groups' perspective on that is very valuable. And then what types of learning experiences should WAPS offer students? And particularly our secondary students, what types of skills and knowledge do we want these kids to graduate from Winona Area Public Schools with? So what are these groups thinking about that? How will we know we're successful? What does a successful student look like when they graduate from us? And then where do you see education heading in the next 10 years? Our hope is that the strategic plan can carry us through the next 10 years. None of us know where we're going to be in 10 years, but to think that far out, I think, is an important conversation to have.
I agree. So what happens with all this information? It goes into a top secret thing? Or?
You know, that's always, I think, the concern when people are involved in a process like this.
Yeah.
Is how we're going to use the information. And really, one of the things that we've talked about is, you know, there may be information that we will gather that we'll look at and say, whoa, really, we should be making a change like now related to that. So I do want people to know that, again, it will be used for the framework for strategic planning, but you know, if we're getting input that points to us that we need to make some changes now, or we need to look at things differently, or there's some things we need to tweak, we will certainly do that.
And I think that's important that the community knows. We're not locked into things. We do have to move if we do see areas of need that we have to move pretty quick. So I said before we were going to come on the air, so we're going to have this World Cafe. It's kind of cool, 2 hours, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
There's going to be food.
Right.
People coming for dinner,
yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
so what are we having for dinner?
Oh, is that?
Because I need to know.
It's a surprise. It's a
mystery surprise.
Meal.
Okay.
No. Well, as you know, the daytime events are from noon to 2, and the evening event is from 6 to 8. And you know, we really want to be cognizant of people's time, so we thought, well, let's serve a meal as well. So one of the meals will be a taco salad, but it will allow for those that for vegetarians in that, and the other will be a build-your-own salad. So
really?
Trust me, they'll be very good. But again, we wanted to be able to provide a meal, but also something where the whole focus isn't around the meal, because we have much work to do in 2 hours.
In 2
and
hours.
Wanted to keep it limited to 2 hours, again, to be cognizant of people's time.
So Kelly, let's talk a little bit as we wind down here about the strategic plan, because this all is building for a strategic plan. We've heard in our community people talking about we have an old strategic plan, or old mission statement, old vision, core values. Talk a little bit about what this is doing in preparation for that.
Well, I think we're dubbing it planning to plan, or preparing to plan. So this information is certainly, we're going to take a look and see if there's things we could do immediately, but I think to look for trends, to look for common themes that are emerging from these groups, and that we can take the next step with as we have the conversations about the strategic plan starting this fall, when we convene the working group that's really going to get down to it in the retreat and develop that plan. But finding those themes and finding what is the general census out there in the community, and what do they want from Winona Area Public Schools. We're here for them, so this is the start of it.
Yeah, and that's.
Well, and actually, I think that we've already started some of it with the community survey that went out. You know, that was not just related to facilities, but also, you know, how do you think public schools are doing? So, you know, I think that was a part of that process. You and I have met, you know, with a small group of stakeholders in the fall. What was interesting about that was having one of the parents say, "No one has ever asked before, you know, how I feel about things."
Isn't that something?
It is. So I see the community summits, you know, as an extension of that. So
how do people get involved with this, Margaret?
well, we are actually putting together.
Should they call your house on the landline?
Yes, they could call my house on the landline. Yes, please do. And then it won't be all those marketers, the only ones that are calling. We have a couple of ways that we're starting to compile lists, but we also will be putting out, I know, gazed on some radio ads, because we've had a couple of people. We do have an email address. It's wops.communitysummits@winona.k12.mn.us. You have that on there. Good. That's hard to remember otherwise. Yes, I'm going to say it out there. But, or you can call 494-0861 and talk to Pam Christensen. We have asked, for example, building principals to put forward some names of parents. We've talked with, various groups. We'll be working with the chamber to get some information
Excellent.
for business people.
The universities.
The university, because that's right, post-secondary will also, higher education will also be involved. So we will have some print ads going out so people can sure contact us. And I guess what I'd really want to encourage people to do is to participate. I mean, we
Yes.
really do want to hear the voices from the community.
Really important right now as
It
we
is.
begin, as Kelly said, we begin to set the stage for 10 years from now. We don't know where we'll be at in 10 years, but
Right.
it puts the school district on the trajectory where it needs to go. And so
Yes.
vital that we do get voices, as many as we can, moving forward.
And we don't have, I did receive an email from a community person saying, have you already decided it? And you're
Right.
just kind of go through the motions? Boy, absolutely not.
You mean for the strategic plan, or?
No, for this community summit even.
Oh.
Yeah, so, and I think, because I do think sometimes people wonder, well, will you really hear my voice?
Right.
Will you really use what I share with
Absolutely,
you?
yeah.
So, it's essential people understand that really is, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, we want a comprehensive summit there.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Any final thoughts here as we wind down here? Anything that we haven't shared?
I should just let you know that all of the summits will be held at the Winona History Center.
Yeah, good call.
We're using either the Wannick room or their classroom. So.
Is
and
there air
then-
conditioned in there?
Yes, it is. It's very nice. It's very nice.
And Wi-Fi.
And
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi. I
yeah,
saw
and
that.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Did
that's
check on
important.
that, yeah.
That's important.
We're gonna have linen tablecloths. It's gonna be very nice.
Okay.
And they've been wonderful to work with.
Oh, they
They're
have
always
been.
open.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Laura Lucas is excellent.
Excellent.
We set that up a while ago. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're excited.
We are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kelly, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, we've done this in the past, but I think the broad section that we're going after this time, I think is going to bring a unique voice to the table, we hope.
Yes.
I think I'm really excited for the student summits.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what our area learning students have to say, our middle school students and our high school students. So like you said, I hope everybody gets involved. I mean, you can always reach out, but hopefully they're willing to come and give us their voice.
Yeah. Good.
Well, thank you so very, very much. First of all, thank you very much for the work. I mean, you guys have just done amazing work on this, and I do see it as something very important for us as a school system to get this cross-section of people. And so I'm overwhelmed by it, and I'm looking forward to a huge turnout from not even, I mean, the politicians. We're asking all
Yes,
of our
that's right. Yeah.
politicians to come as well. Really to get an idea of what people think our school should be, and not what I think or what you two think, but let's hear what the cross-section of folks are really saying. Should we have this course or should we have that course?
Right.
I think that's important to hear from folks. So
Agreed.
thank you very, very much for your work. That concludes our show. It looks like I got a couple minutes. Well, I could talk, man. Hey, we got a couple minutes. I thought we were... well, we can just dance on.
I was
You
gonna
want to
say,
dance on TV or no?
You're good at that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I guess the only other thing I would really want to say again is that, this is just another step that we're doing, and
Yes.
really it's your leadership has really initiated this.
Thank you.
Because it is going to be a very broad base. I mean, and this will not be a hand-selected group of people.
Right.
It really is our reaching out to get input from the community, and really there's about 25 or 26% of the people in the community have children in this system.
Right.
The others do not.
Right.
So we certainly want to hear from parents, primary stakeholders, but also want to hear from older adults. We'll also be inviting charter and non-public representatives to the summit. So
Because we're
really,
securing ourselves. We can invite anybody,
that's
right?
exactly right. That's exactly right. We're feeling good. So yeah.
All right, so now I got
That's a good
about
thing.
30 seconds left.
Okay, wrap her up.
I'm wrapping it up now. Any final thoughts? Well, one other thing though,
Yeah.
before we go, we should talk just real briefly about the operating levy. If there are,
Yes.
you want to talk a little bit about that? Just
we do have, the district does have a renewal of an operating levy
Yep.
coming up in November of 2016. And we're actually working now with a small group of community people to assist with that passage. So there'll be more information coming out about that.
Thank you. I just got the wrap up here with the
Okay.
fingers. So I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I look forward to the next segment. Stay tuned next time for Making It Great. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, yeah.